Happy 4th of July, everybody. It's Coach Jan, and I want to share an idea based on an encounter I had last night with a man from Hong Kong. And the general idea is that we as a Tai Chi community need to continue to share information. I believe it's our duty, if you have knowledge, to share that knowledge and to improve the systems that we partake in. And rather than be limited by the systems that we partake in. So, to share the story from yesterday, this very nice gentleman from Hong Kong, I asked him if he did Tai Chi. Sure enough, he did do Tai Chi. And we were talking a little bit about Tai Chi, and he was mentioning that, and I'm not sure if this was nationalism or if this was language barrier, etc., because the language barrier was intense. But he was saying that the Chinese people are smaller, but there's a lot of power because of the Tai Chi looks slow motion, but very powerful, he was saying. I'm like, well, yes, absolutely. And he was going on again to utilize language that was non-specific to the mechanics that I know Tai Chi to have. And when I say I know Tai Chi to have, I mean that I can articulate these concepts, I can make them repeatable for any person, and they are not magic. These are biomechanics, breathwork, visualization, and if it's not repeatable, it's not competition worthy. That is my perspective. And that is how I coach. So he was talking about these ideas in a very general way of like the power of Tai Chi and the smaller movements. And I would add to the conversation, saying that how we articulate that in my training at the U.S. Tai Chi Push Heads team as the captain and coach, that the small circles create greater centrifugal force and etc. I just kept on going down. Every time he would share an idea that was non-specific, I would add to the conversation, sharing the specific findings that I've had in my training with my teammates, etc., and my students. And I think that is so important, because the Westerner, in my experience growing up, and I made a video on this last year around this time when I encountered a master in Chinatown, New York, where I grew up, and I had to challenge that master's ideas. And later on, he said, "You are better in push hands than me," and I was like, "Thank you." But that I'm not sharing that concept, this idea, to say that I'm better than any particular person. What I'm getting at is that if you don't give your best to people, then you do them a disservice, and you do yourself a disservice. So when we are sharing these ideas, and the Westerner, and you know this if you are a Tai Chi practitioner, and potentially in any martial art, where you hear the master talking and then you have the students going, "Oh yeah," and no one is challenging the language barrier, if there is one, clarifying the concepts so that there's true understanding, so nothing is lost in translation if there is a language barrier. And even just simply asking, if there is no language barrier, asking the best questions you possibly can to get the most data. These are just things that I feel are so important. And again, the theme of this video is that the duty of sharing the best knowledge rapidly. Like, I believe that we all have that duty to share the best information rapidly. And that doesn't mean you can't charge people for your training and your work and make great money off of it. What I'm getting at is that the information, the lexicon, the sharing, that as a community should be toward building the system and enhancing the system that we have, rather than being limited to the ancient ways, because the ancient ways are still or have to evolve. They always have to evolve for the time. So. I just wanted to share that because the gentleman, like I said, some of it was very vague, some of it felt very nationalistic, and I always give respect to the country that created a container for information that is actually belongs to humanity. China created a container for information that existed prior to it being articulated in China. And the tongue on the ceiling of the mouth, the breath work, the visualization. These are ancient concepts that you'll find across cultures. You'll find it in Indian culture, you'll find it in African cultures, you'll find it in so many modalities across the world. And so it is just our duty, from my perspective, in 2022 and beyond, as a global community, for us to bring these ideas together so that we can build upon them and continue to improve our system. So that is my message to everybody for the 4th of July. is this, like I'm in America, I'm in Los Angeles right now, and I consider America the greatest remix culture in the world. We take things, we put new things, we stack things on top of each other, create something new out of it. And I think Tai Chi is we very much need to do that here, and very intentionally. If we haven't been doing it intentionally as a community before, I think it needs to begin now, so that we can come together and make the system even better, and bring something to it as Americans, as individuals, that will continue to improve the global intelligence in the system, and to help other people find value in how this can change your life, how Tai Chi can change your life, change your movements, change any activity that you have, and enhance it, whether that's general living or sports or martial arts, or etc. So I love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful, safe, and beautiful 4th of July and beyond. Love you so much.